again. Welcome. This is my channel. I'm Kevin Robinson Jr. and we will get into the male commandments. So I think this is important for all men, not just men of a certain age. If you're a teenager, this would be good for you to know. A couple of things I think that all men need to know. And I talk a lot here about being the best man possible. So whether I don't do the whole alpha beta shit. I just do your man. You want to be the better man, the best man you can be. So look, man, I'm gonna give you a couple of commandments. Number one, logic over emotion. Logic over emotion. Having a high emotional intelligence is truly important if you want to be the best man you can be. You want to make sure that you practice a high emotional intelligence, and you want to make sure you always choose logic over emotion. I've been the guy when I was younger, when I would have been a little bit too emo, deciding to choose how I feel over the logic. But see, that was before I matured as a man. You can save yourself a whole lot of heartbreak, drama, bullshit, once you learn that your emotions don't mean a fucking thing in the grand scheme of things. So always make sure that you come from a place of a logical place than a emotional place. Next one, number two, pray for your enemies. I know, it sounds crazy, right? Why would I pray for a motherfucker that I don't fuck with like that? I'm gonna tell you something. I don't have any enemies. Man, look, when you moving at a high level, you vibrating at a high level, you ain't got no motherfucking enemies. I don't see anybody. See, in order for me to consider you an enemy, I have to give a fuck about you. And there's not a lot of people I give a fuck about. I am empathetic, don't get me wrong, but for me to really care about somebody, love and hate are very fine lines. So if I love you, that means I can hate you as much. And at this point in my life, I have no enemies, zero. But I'm gonna tell you this, when I did have enemies, I learned to wish them well. And when you learn to wish somebody well that you don't fuck with no more, like for example, just because you and a friend may not fuck with each other anymore, that doesn't make them your enemy. It just means y'all don't fuck with each other. And it takes a very strong person to say, you know what? Even for those people that can't stand me, you might be watching this right now and can't stand me for shit, but you watching it, right? I pray for you. I hope that, and my prayer is this, even if you don't fuck with me, much success to you, even though you wish me the opposite. You know what I mean? That's really how I feel. So pray for your enemies. That's a real grown man trait. Because I'm telling you, when I was younger, ooh, I was all fire and brimstone and all type of shit. You don't want to be that. Because to be a boss, to be a real type nigga out here getting to the bag, getting in shape and all that type of shit, you gotta learn how to let bullshit go. All right? Number three, I ain't never seen a rich hater. Never. You know, we talk about enemies, and a lot of times people say they're haters and the enemies, but hate is misguided love, blindfolded by fear. Nick Grant, this rapper out of North Carolina, said that, and that's the deepest shit in the world, you know? If you hate me, you must love me. You know, your hatred is a misguided love. But in essence of this, you'll never meet nobody who's wealthy, who's getting to the bag, because usually people who are wealthy and get into the bag are self-absorbed. And what I mean by self-absorbed is not in a bad way, but they move on a high frequency. You gotta move on a high frequency to get to the money. You know what I'm saying? And when you're so busy bettering yourself, you ain't got enough time to be hating on the next man. You feel me? Even before I got to this bag, even before, you know, I had what I have now, you know, I'm not gonna say and make it seem like I'm wealthy, but I damn sure ain't hurting. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta come on here with a Rolex watch on and jewelry and all that shit to let you know I'm getting to the bag. Because if you know, you know. Anyways, man, but even when I was broke, I never hated on anybody. I didn't hate on anybody. If somebody had something I wanted, I would ask them, how do I get to this point to where you're at? You feel me? My greatest asset is the next one. You grow to realize and think that when you're younger, you're still a man boy. You think that the greatest asset that you have is yourself. But when you find a woman who can build to your empire, bring you, your wife might bring you a great idea. It might be something real simple. You know what I'm saying? Might bring you a great idea for your business. Something that you might not necessarily notice. Women are really good at combing through the details, right? So they noticed the most minuscule thing. Your wife might be like, yo, babe, did you ever think about doing this? You might save yourself an extra, $10,000 a year if you do this with your business. Your greatest asset should be your wife. That's something I learned. All of the men I know that I really admire, that are wealthy as fuck and they're healthy as fuck, wealthy and healthy, they have a great wife. Every marriage goes through ups and downs, right? Every single one, but they have a great wife. So that's another commandment. Next one is this, is a hustler's poison. And a hustler's poison would be low vibrational people. I talk about this a lot, aka square ass niggas. You gotta keep motherfuckers who ain't doing shit with their life away from you. You have to. The hardest thing to do when you're ascending in life is you have to realize that everybody around you isn't meant to go with you. A lot of times what happens is we'll have friends of ours who will stop calling. You ain't heard from them in a long time. I just stopped calling you for whatever reason. And I seen this, my grandmother used to tell me this, she said, if God takes somebody out of your life, they just stop fucking with you, it's because you weren't in the room when they were talking bad about you. A lot of times we think that our friend is really down for us with the long haul, and that's just not necessarily the truth, man. So one thing I learned as a hustler is you gotta keep low vibrational people away from you, period. So a hustler's poison is weak-minded individuals. Like I said, man, you might be down on your luck right now. You might have big lofty goals. You wrote the shit down and you got this playbook. And I always say, if there's anything you want to do, you got to write that shit down first. If you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. Write it in ink. A lot of y'all niggas do everything in text. I use Evernote too on here. I use the Notes app. Write it down. Get a piece of paper, write it down. When you write it down, it gives it power. You know what I'm saying? Post that shit on your refrigerator. Post it on your door, your front door when you leave the house every day. This type of power, you might be down on your luck. You might not be nowhere near any of these goals in your life. But if you believe in yourself enough and you work on it diligently every single day, I'm pretty sure you can get to your goals. You may not get all of your goals, but you should knock out some of them. And if that means you gotta get away from certain people, fuck them. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this was the male commandments. This channel's growing very quickly. I'm very impressed. I'm grateful. I wake up every day and I see more and more subscribers, more and more comments, more and more likes. And do me a favor. If you find any value in this, make sure that you like, share, comment, subscribe. And don't just subscribe to subscribe, actually interact with me. You know what I mean? Peace and love.